Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Tammy Davis here. I'm gonna take a moment to make a personal disclaimer that I look like this because, well, I'm recovering from surgery. This was basal cell carcinoma that actually got kind of crazy. So we had to remove it, and I love, truthfully, while I'm here, I love the way the surgeon did this. She had me, raise my eyebrows and furrow my brow, and so she could and she took photographs of it so that she could actually create where the scars would fall and be almost undetectable. So that's a really cool thing. And I also have had surgery on my foot, something I've been talking about for almost a year now. Finally got that taken care of. So between that and the fact that it's hot outside and building a new house, here I am. This is why I look the way I do. But that doesn't stop me from working. And it doesn't stop me from talking and writing and so forth. So anyway, that said, I just finished, actually it was a blog I started about almost 3 weeks ago now. Actually, it was 3 weeks ago. Regarding the need to mask genetic receptors. And so I was playing with that idea. And then I put that one on hold for a while. You never know why you do. Sometimes you do. I put it on hold and moved on to some other things, and then all of a sudden my curiosity gets piqued for one reason or another. So I continued my investigation. I've actually created a salve. I've talked about that in other videos. I call it AMP. It's a moisturizing sanitizer that's good for the hands and the face, and it's really important, especially in with this last blog. Now, if you haven't read it, I'm going to talk about it here, but you're welcome to go check it out, because I get into a lot of detail in that piece regarding how viruses actually enter the body. It's not like we're just breathing them in, that's not it, or we're swallowing them. They actually enter the body via very specific genetic receptors. And when it comes to the current virus plaguing 2020, so before I go any further, this is not a suggestion for anything, okay? I'm not suggesting any type of actions, none of that, okay? That's up to you. If you have questions about it, by all means ask me, and please visit the blog. That link is in the description box below. Because I do give essential oil ideas over there. Again, this is not to take the place of any medical advice. Okay. My entire intention is to work alongside the medical field and improve the body's response and actually protect us. But that said, the whole reason I even started that blog post was because I was concerned about the long-term effects, and I've actually mentioned that here a couple of times in different videos. We know Lyme has a particular long-term effect. We know Epstein-Barr has long-term effects. I mean, Epstein-Barr virus has been linked to different types of cancers, autoimmune disorders, and so because of the genetic changes that are occurring within the body, they're able to, it's not saying that if you have Epstein-Barr you're going to develop cancer. That's not what it's saying. It predisposes you, it makes you more susceptible to developing cancer based on your individual genome. All right, so this current virus is a concern to me because I've been beginning to work with people and talk with people that I know have had it, and they are subsequently developing additional, like almost like autoimmune type actions or experiences, like chronic fatigue. Again, this is some of the reasons why I've done other videos, and I've even written along these lines. So it's the long-term effects, not just the short-term effects. And so something we want to take into consideration when it comes to essential oils is the proactive use of them. And this is the reason why I'm doing now Zoom talks on Saturdays. It's the proactive use of essential oils. While we do want to pay attention to symptoms, we don't necessarily want to just focus on the symptoms. We want to understand what we're influencing in the body and how that is going to play out over time. So even though the current virus does wreak havoc on the lungs and the cardiovascular system, you know, we've had a number of people lose their lives as a result of it, there's other concerns. And again, when I'm starting to, when I start to see the fatigue, there's a whole host of reasons why we experience fatigue. And it does come down to hormonal, okay? So as I've talked about, ACE2 receptor is how the virus enters the body. So as I mentioned, viruses enter through a very specific genetic receptor. This virus enters through the ACE2 receptor, which is located in the lungs, the heart, endothelial tissues of the gut, the intestinal tract, blood vessels, liver, kidneys, and the brain, hypothalamus. There's your hormonal influence right there. So I've alluded to the fact that this particular virus is almost like an endocrine disruptor, and there you have it. So if we didn't, so there's a few things that have come to mind, because truthfully, I'm getting really fed up with the sassiness, the nastiness, the bickering, the shaming. Look, I did another video on this. You may or may not have seen it, with regards to why we want to wear a mask. Okay, so the fact is that wearing a mask, while it protects you, if I wear a mask, I'm protecting you from me. If you wear a mask, you're protecting me from you. That's the whole purpose to a mask. I've worked in the medical field. Okay, we used to have to wear masks, where I did when I was in the field, in medical and dental fields. We wore masks to protect the patients from us. Yeah, it did block aerosols, but we also wore goggles for that, so we didn't get smacked in the eye with stuff. So we had our personal protective equipment for that purpose, but it wasn't to protect us from a patient being sick. If this patient was sick, they were told to go home, or they weren't allowed to come in, because we couldn't protect ourselves from that. We knew that. Okay, yes, we sprayed the rooms down afterwards with disinfectants and sanitizers to sterilize, or to disinfect and sterilize different surfaces. Okay, we did do that, because tuberculosis and HIV, they all live for certain different lengths of time on surfaces, so we had to make sure that that was all taken care of. But as far as our own personal bodies, if someone was sick, they had to go home or stay home. So that said, when we wear masks, we are mildly protecting one another. And it's an act of respect, okay? It's not a political statement. If you want to make it a political statement, that's in your head, okay? I really think it's time to stop making political statements with our health. I've heard way too many people in my immediate circle, as well as seen it online, where people are going, oh, this is just a cold, oh, this is just a flu. No, it's not. Read my blog. Yeah, I'm irritated. Because the rhinovirus is a cold. The flu is an influenza virus. We have many types of viruses. This is not that. It may cause congestion in the chest. It may cause coughing. It may look like a respiratory illness, but in fact, it's something much more. So the mask is an act of respect. It's an act of kindness. Where the hell did we lose the idea that we don't want to be kind towards one another? I don't understand it. So at any rate, I'm not going to go off any further on that. But the point is that a mask will mildly protect us, because here's why. If the ACE2 receptors are in the hypothalamus and it's affecting the hypothalamus, okay, because it's binding to these ACE2 receptors, then in fact what you have is something that it has the potential to cross the blood-brain barrier. Now, I was reading in the National Institute of Health earlier today that it's suspected that there may be some co-infections, bacterial co-infections, that would be lessening the permeability of the brain, which would allow it to cross the blood-brain barrier. I don't know about that. I mean, it's fairly simple that if you breathe it in, it's the potential for it crossing the blood-brain barrier, I would think, is very good, because Cornell University is currently studying different plant components and their ability to increase tissue permeability. So when I said I need to back up and say bacterial infections that are increasing the permeability, not lessening, but increasing the permeability. And like I said, Cornell University is investigating a number of plant components that can do the same thing, and there's reason for that I don't need to go into for here. But we also recognize the fact that essential oils contain constituents that cross the blood-brain barrier. So the fact that this particular virus might be able to do such is possible. Even if it didn't, if we breathed it in, it's getting into our lungs, it's activating that ACE2 receptor, it's getting into the, like I said, it's in the endothelial cells and the intestinal tract and in the blood vessels. So it's getting into the body, but there's also ACE2 receptors in the hypothalamus. So this is a concern. So this is another reason why using this moisturizing hand sanitizer, it's based on the science of plant constituents and their ability to mitigate genetic activity and actually help the DNA provide a stable ground for our body to actually keep us safer and more protected. So the idea of using this particular salve is that you could put it on your hands, you can put it on your face, because technically the FDA came out with a list of commercial hand sanitizers that they're concerned about due to the alcohol, the type of alcohol that's in it. So that was one of the reasons why I developed this. But again, it's good for the skin. So the long-term effects are it's actually helping support DNA health. It has antimicrobial type activity to it. It supports the production of antimicrobial peptides, supports digestion, supports hormonal stability and immune stability. So it's beneficial. And again, it doesn't take the place of any medical advice or any other medical treatments, but if you're not currently in the hospital and you are at home, I highly recommend using it and beginning to protect, because it's not just the immediate symptoms. Well, even if you're asymptomatic, especially if you're asymptomatic, that's something to be concerned about, because it is getting and affecting the ACE2 receptors, and there's a number of investigations currently going on with regards to neurological issues that could potentially arise from this virus. So again, this is not hearsay. This is information that I read after my subsequent investigation as I was writing this, and I felt like it's very important information to share. So while the mask will mildly protect us from one another, and it expresses kindness and compassion and respect for one another, the next step is to include various essential oils that are specific to your needs, meaning what else is going on with your system that will improve your body's response to what's happening in our environment as far as this virus is concerned. Okay, and protect you with regards to the long-term effects, because I have to say this, I got a phone call. I had a client contact me about 10 days ago, was confirmed with a blood test that she had Lyme and was Bell's palsy. And so her face was drooping. She had was paralyzed on one left side of her face. It was not a stroke, it was Bell's palsy. And I formulated something for her, sent it off to her. She's used it for a week, and the Bell's palsy is gone. Her energy has been restored. So supporting the neurological system with oils is possible. It's highly doable, and it's highly effective. So anyway, hope you guys are well. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, check out that blog. It's in the link in the description box below. Consider joining my Aromagenomics course. I will say this, there's payment options if you want a payment plan. It is being hosted in a private Facebook group, but you have a ton of information videos and ongoing live talks with me now. I did take the last 8 months off from that course because of my health issues, but now we're back up in live, and it is a paid course. So check it out, and that you can find that on my website. That link is in the box below. And also, maybe even if you don't want to do that, if you want to just check out the proactive use of essential oils, please come every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and on Zoom. So register for that, and I will get you signed up. All right. Thanks, you guys. Take care. I look forward to speaking with you soon.